hard to get, it makes me sick, but I understand. No, I don't blame you at all. Oh, I just need one night with you, and we can keep our clothes on. That's if we can. I'm trying to get next to you, but you pass on every moment. Turn down my invitations. Oh yeah. But I keep on trying. You'll come around. I'm wearing you down. And you could be my Laura, I could be your Urkel. Can't you tell I adore ya? You're nothing less than a miracle. You're a once in a lifetime, once in a blue moon, a shooting star. I'd spend a lifetime just to be where you are, but you pass on every moment. You turn down invitations, and I don't know why, but I keep on trying. You'll come around. I'm wearing you down, and when your no's turn into maybes. Oh yeah, I know I'm onto something. Oh, I know that eventually you'll come around. I'm wearing you down.
You already know what it is, man. Hope everybody's doing good today. You are tuned in to the BU Radio Network, and you're at the right place at the right time, listening to the right show. We got the right host interviewing the right guests, only for the right listeners. And if you are listening with your boy today, you are most definitely the right listener, and we appreciate you listening. Welcome to That's My Producer. I go by the name of I Am Natrell. It is a beautiful day in Las Vegas. I'm up here at the BU Network studio. I got an awesome show planned out for y'all. We're going to be talking about some radio stuff, some live events, some things that you might want to know. You know what I'm saying? I got a veteran in the game, been in here doing this thing for a minute, and we're going to bring him in a sec, man. But I want to share a couple of things real quick, man. I want y'all to be careful out here in Las Vegas. Crime level is starting to, get a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to be careful out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you're looking for a place to run your podcast or your radio show, reach out to the BU Network. We got some good rates over here, and we're going to show you some love. You know what I'm saying? For real. For real. We got green screen services. We got studio services. Pretty much anything you need media. We shooting music videos, everything that you can possibly think. Graphics, web design, the whole shebang right here at the BU Network, man. So we about networking, and we about getting you what you need to get out here and get this money. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna do it like that, man. I got some artists that we're gonna be playing today, man. Shout out to Icy Jones. Shout out to Forgiven. We're going to be playing their new single, Finally Free. And got a lot of good things getting ready to happen. But before we get into all of that, man, I'm going to jump into another song right quick. And then I'm going to come right back, and we're going to bring Mike live, you know what I'm saying, to the network. We're going to get this conversation started. I don't want to waste too much time because his time is valuable, and he got a story, and we want to hear it, all right? So y'all keep tuning in. Make sure y'all do me the biggest favor. I need y'all to go ahead and share on the live feed. Right now, we on Facebook. We on YouTube. We on Twitch. We on Live Me. And then the website is bunetwork.biz. So you can listen excuse me, you can listen to us from the website, or you can go to our live stream platforms and you can tap in with us, ask questions, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna answer them too. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? So we're gonna get back in this thing, get some good conversation going right after this song. Let's go.
Whoa, okay, yeah, Hey, Ross,
and I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all this shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple. And I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all this shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple.
Hit up Sally, I'm like, fire, what we doing today? Fuck these other niggas, bro, they wanna ride the wave. Rockstar lifestyle every night and day. And my feelings about some shit, so I get high today. Girl, if I give you my heart, will you drive away? Can you stay with me? I'm numb to pain. Love your vibe, you make me nervous, wanna run away. You be on my mind, I hit you up today.
And I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all the shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple.
And I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all the shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple.
Post-traumatic stress, I feel like Steven Tyler. Push back to the face, going off the wire, no liar. Really be smoking that fire, keep that spinning like tires. Don't want your girl, I don't like. Hey, fuck it, I'd rather let you talk. I got that slide like the moonwalk. She told me she loved me, I told her don't love me too hard. We pulling up in like 2 cars, I'm finna stop in like 2 bars. I got this sound like a Mozart, I got the gas like a go-kart.
Sometimes I wish I seen a shooting star. No, I wouldn't wish for fancy cars. Better days, wish I could be a bird so I can fly away.
And I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all the shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple. And I ain't gon' lie, I got some issues. Post-traumatic stress from all the shit I've been through. And I ain't gon' lie, I really miss you. And it get harder, been this life, girl, it ain't simple.
Post-traumatic stress from all the stuff we done been through, man. That's a whole story in itself, man. Especially coming out of this pandemic and everything we had to endure, post-traumatic stress. I don't know about you, but I got a little bit of that myself, you know what I'm saying? How you feeling, man? Mike Live is in the building. How you feeling?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I'm feeling great. It's an honor. Thank you so much. I'm out in Los Angeles, and it's hot today.
Yeah, man. It's starting to get hot in Vegas again, too, man. I'm like, I ain't ready for these summer months, you know what I'm saying? I like that nice in between, not too hot, not too cold. You know, you can kind of coast. You know what I'm saying? You can go outside, just put on a little long sleeve and just, you know what I'm saying, do your thing like that.
I already know. I lived in Vegas for a few years out there, man. So I know what you go through when you mean those couple, like a month or a couple of weeks before the summer hit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's start from the top, man. Who is Mike Live? Tell them people who you are.
That's a great question, bro. First question. Who is Mike Live? Mike Live is a 38-year-old Italian Greek who grew up in Los Angeles from an immigrant dad and a Greek mother.
Wow.
And, you know, listened to the radio as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up one day, was like, man, Mom, let me change the radio station, and was playing with it. And all of a sudden, you know, I get into radio when I'm 18 years old as, you know, promotions and doing events and stuff like that. And just from 18 all the way till just recently, you know, just been doing radio.
Wow. how did you tap into like your first opportunity doing radio?
So back in the day, right before I graduated high school, I had there was this event called the Kobe Bowl, and Kobe Bryant did it's like a fundraiser bowling alley event, and so I pulled up, me and my cousin, and at the time we were doing like choreography dancing, and sure enough, man, we saw the radio station guy pull up, and we're like, man, that's so cool. He pulled up in a Hummer. And all the girls were like, "Oh my gosh!" They were shouting him out. And then I just said to myself, "You know what, man? I want to do radio because, first of all, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But if I could pull up in a Hummer at an event to Kobe Bryant's bowling alley, then that's where I want to be. You know what I mean?"
I know that's right. Especially when you got all the girls screaming and yelling. You're a youngster. You seeing that? We didn't have pull out in that, and then just I know about that.
That's how it started, man. I worked my way in. I became an intern, and then all of a sudden, man, from there, just learned. Like, I used to ask the production director at the radio station, like, "Yo, can I get your keys to your recording studio?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, at night, when he left for the day, he gave it to me. He's like, "Go ahead, Mike, come on in, do your thing." And I was pressing buttons and learning how to record and learning how to use the phone. And I remember back in the day, I used to like do this little thing called Live As It Gets, where I would just like have rappers call in on the phone, play the beat through the headphones, and let them rap over it. And that was kind of the first start of me like starting to do my own show,
Wow. What was the first station that gave you the first opportunity?
93.5 K-Day in LA. That was the first time. They said, "Mike, we know you're producing for the Baker Boys, but is there, do you want to be on Sunday mornings, early in the morning? It's like a 3-hour shift." I'm like, hell yeah. I took that quick. I was like, I'll be there. I don't care how early it is. Wow. So that was the first time I got on the airwaves. Yeah, it was a weekend.
Man, so your first stab at radio was a morning show.
Yeah, it was like 6 to like 9 or something like that. 6 to 9 in the morning on Sundays on K-Day. And yeah, man, I was just hosting the show, just playing classics, you know what I mean? And from that point, I just kind of was like, all right, this is what I want to do. Like, so I got 7 to 11, Monday through Friday. They put me on at K-Day. And 3 months in, they were like, "Mike, you did great, but you're like 21 years old. You're this young kid, and you're definitely, you're trying to learn more. So we got to bring someone who's got a bigger name than you. You're new." I was like, "Who is it?" It was the Goodfellas from Power 106. They had let them go at Power, and they brought the Goodfellas to K-Day, and it was like, all right. They're like, "Mike, here's your severance check." They didn't offer me anything, bro. They literally was like, what a cold reality. I just moved out of my parents' house, and boom, they handed me a severance check, and I was like, what do I do? One of my boys, he was like, "Yo, you should go outside of LA, bro. Go to Vegas." I was like, "Nah, I don't think so, man." He's like, "Nah, bro." He's like, "You need to go to Vegas, bro. Like, Vegas radio's popping." I said, "All right." So I applied for a part-time job at Hot 97.5 for production director, and I ended up becoming a full-time employee within like 3 months being there. And then they gave me a weekend shift, and the rest is kind of history, man.
Yeah, that's a good move. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then so when you came to Vegas, was that the first station that you started with?
Yep. That was the first station that I became a production director. I had no idea about commercials, about voiceover, any of that stuff until they literally they booked me a flight. They had me stay at one of their like local spots, and they were like, "All right, we want you to come try out." I was sitting in the studios at Hot 97.5, and I remember seeing one of the production guys come in, and he saw me sitting in his room, and all I remember was him walking right out, and he left, and that was it. Like, they were like, "All right, well, you got the job because he just quit." And I was like, "What?" I'm like,
wow.
Okay. I'm like, okay, I got it, I guess. So that was it.
You gotta always be ready. Always be ready. You don't know when your opportunity is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, man, how did that make you feel to see like, I quit? All right, you own. Like,
man, it was overwhelming because I was like, damn, can I really do this? Like, I had to question myself, like, could I really do this? And that was a point in my life where I was like, that's it. Like, I would wake up at 7 a.m. in Vegas, I'd show up to the studios at 8 a.m. before like people would get in around 9, 10 o'clock. And I'd stay there probably till like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I would just play with the programs on how to like edit. And I'd do all the recordings, and I would look at the scripts that they had from, you know, sponsors and stuff like that. And, you know, at the first couple months, it was tough. You know, I had to really teach myself how to become a production director, you know? Wow. And after that, it was like, man, it became a lot easier because I put in the hours. I think that was the main thing was, you know, to put in those hours. It was like, and I was a big fan of Kobe at that time, but, you know, Kobe Bryant was a big inspiration in my life because, you know, his work ethic, the way he was like, I'm going to put these hours in and I'm going to be in the gym. I was like, I used to think of it like, okay, if I could just be here for hours in and everyone sees me in here all the time, they're going to be like, Mike's working all the time. Like, that's all he does. So eventually it became easier because of those hours that I put in, you know?
Wow. So it was the time that it took to learn and to, you know what I'm saying, to really get in there and actually learn the craft. It's one thing to say, hey, this is what I want to do. It's another thing to go in there and actually do it. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of this radio stuff is on the job training.
Yeah. And mind you, let's not forget Vegas, right? Hot 97.5, 2005, 2004. Clubs popping.
Oh yeah.
Hip hop wasn't that big out there, but there was a few spots that were popping, like Club 702 back in the day.
Yeah. And
that was the same club that Tupac and Suge Knight used to run. And so that was one of my first like club gigs out there. So mind you, I'm with pimps, I'm with gangsters, and here's this, you know, Italian Greek kid in the mix of all of it. And, you know, I used to have people in my studio, Mike, you need to redo this commercial, Mike, you know, and that's it taught me at an early age when I was 22, you know, hey, you need to shut up and let me do this shit and leave me the fuck alone. Let me knock this out and then come back in a couple hours when I'm done with it so you can see the final product. So, you know, you had to speak up for yourself and you had to stand up for yourself. And, you know, Vegas is a tough place, man. You got to have thick skin out there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I learned that real quick. You know, people will sit there and stand over your shoulders and tell you every move to make if you let them. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, look, first of all, I'm going to need you to step out the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even, when I do my mixing and mastering, I don't even allow people to be in the studio with me. I have everybody leave. Now you can bring your guests for the studio session while you recording, and so they can get their pictures or whatever the case. But when it's time for me to do the mixing, you give me your money, and then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna zone out, and I'm gonna get you the best mix that I can get you. Now, when I get it back to you, if you hear something that you want to change, hey, can you add some more reverb here? Turn this up over there. Boom, boom, boom. I'll make the adjustments, but I'm not about to be. You ain't about to sit up here and like I'm a remote control and control. You know
hey, lower this, man. Turn that up, man. Lower that a little bit. Yeah. Nah, bro. You need to get out, bro.
Exactly. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. You know what I'm saying? Because I might want to try something that might be totally, you know what I'm saying? Something that you would have never thought about. You know what I'm saying? Put some distortion on the voice, and you know, the first time you put that distortion on it, it's gonna sound crazy. Yeah. But after you throw that reverb and, you know what I'm saying, EQ it right, then you're like, oh, hold up, that might actually work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so, I feel you on that, bro. I feel you on that.
So what was one of the first like hard lessons you learned when you know what I'm saying, that one thing that you say, you know what, if I could tell anybody that's just starting in this game, learn this lesson from me so you don't have to learn it by yourself, what would be that lesson?
Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid in general, because, you know, it's going to happen. And when it does, you know, what you do after that mistake or what you do after that fail will make you a better human being. It'll make you a stronger person. It'll make you a better businessman, whatever it is. Because you'll realize, oh man, maybe I should have did that, or maybe I should have done that, you know. And then you start tweaking your game plan. So my advice to anyone who wants to, you know, get in the radio business or in general, just with business, when it comes to like making certain moves, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to fail. If it doesn't work, you know what? You tried it. Did you give it your all? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then move forward. You know what I mean? And the next time you do it, you're going to do it right, you know? And don't allow yourself to just be like, oh, I failed. Like, man, I'm done with this, or I'm going to quit, or man, that shit. I could have quit so many times, man. And for the lack of pay, for the whatever you want to call it, you know? But when you put in those hours, man, and eventually that shit start clicking for you.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't quit the network about 40 times. You know what I'm saying?
See?
Every day I feel like, you know what? I might need to do something else. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, those challenges come, and you know things don't ever seem to get easy. You know what I'm saying?
Never, bro.
Technology changes consistently. So about time you learn something and you got it down and mastered, the new software or the new version comes out. You know what I'm saying? All right, we switching over to that. Or, you know what I'm saying? The new microphone or whatever the case may be. It's like you got to keep shoving money in buying the newest software, the newest live stream platform. You know what I'm saying? Now we got a whole new social media platform. You got to figure out now TikTok is the new move. So I just got the hang of Instagram. Now I got to move over to TikTok and do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't reveal your age, man. You telling them too much.
hey, I'm still back there with Black Planet and MySpace.
Hey, man, you know what? When you just said MySpace, one of the big things, real quick, man, one of the big things was I interviewed Kendrick Lamar. This was about 15 years ago, before he blew up. And that was something that really, you said MySpace. He was promoting his MySpace when I interviewed him. You know what I mean? Wow. So it's kind of crazy how you just said that, because that was one of the big moments in my career where I was like, man, like, to look back on that and say, like, I interviewed one of the biggest names in the music business. And even as of recently too, man, if you check out Kanye West's second episode of the documentary on Netflix, at the very end, I was at Kanye West's house when they were partying for New Year's. At the very end of the episode, you'll see me in the back with a little beanie on, and I got the chin strap, you know, whatever, beard going on. But yeah, man, like, you know, being in those moments with these people and seeing how they progressed and seeing how they, you know, achieved what they achieved, you know, I think those are some of my highlights and some of the career moves that I made, you know. No
doubt. I know one of the big names out here in Vegas that you work with, DJ Franzen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into some more music real quick, man. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about how it was working with DJ Franzen, some of the things that you did while you was here in Vegas, because you made some pretty big moves. You did some pretty big events. You know what I'm saying? So we want to get into that, and then you got a full-fledged story, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, appreciate you, bro. Absolutely. So I want to get into this joint, man, by Icy Jones. It's called That's My Brother. This is my joint right now, man. I ain't gonna front because of the message. You know what I'm saying? So let's check out this song from Icy Jones. It's called That's My Brother once again, and we'll be right back with That's My Producer. Let's go.
Hell gang hit it. Yeah. Jones, Vegas City, guns, let go. Hey, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my back on my brother, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my back on my brother, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother. You know we back like a Spinal Tap. Although we never left like a red rag. Ooh, hop in the booth, murder the track. And you know we killed a mic like a toe tag. When it comes to this rap, boy, I'm top tier. No opinion, this fact, make that clear. No cap here, all claps cheers. Make a bet, cash checks, I'm the cashier. 500 each, boy, we made a grand. We ain't have to sell crack, wasn't wearing grams. Before Instagram, Jones and Goods had fans. On the block, selling hard copies hand to hand. That's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my back on my brother, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my
the trenches with my brother. If he did it, I'll never snitch. Even if you wrong, I'ma stand right next to you, homie. Give a what these on. And you can't catch me with a chick you already bone. She smiling in my face, I'm telling Icy Jones. Loyalty is what it is till I'm dead and gone. It's still senior scholar if you ain't knowing. Reppin' Vegas all night to the early morn. Double cup of yak, and I'm blunt blowing. On the hitty beat, hella outspoken. Me and Icy Jones, we the wave like the ocean.
That's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my back on my brother, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never turn my back on my brother, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother, that's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother.
That's my brother, that's my brother, yeah. That's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, yeah. That's my brother, that's my brother, yeah. That's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. That's my brother, that's my brother, yeah.
That's my brother. That's my brother. Never let a sucker talk bad about my brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't think they got songs like that no more, man, where they talking about, you know what I'm saying, you know, brothers looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's always a lot of
I like
hate
that
out
vibe.
here.
I like that vibe.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Icy Jones and Guns for that song, man. That's my brother. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of brothers, you know, you had an opportunity to work with one of the biggest DJs, at least the biggest hip hop DJs out here in Las Vegas, and that's DJ Franzen. Tell us about that whole moment, man, and how that was for you.
Man, Franzen is one of the nicest, you know, just genuine human beings. And a lot of people, I know, I'm not going to say a lot of people have said that he's, you know, he's too big for himself or whatever, but you got to remember, this man is a legend in this business, you know, in the music business. The guy, you know, is friends with Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Like, was supporting Jay-Z back in the KMEL days. So working with Franzen, I just had a chance to just really understand, like, the culture of music with him. You know, he's like, when you say he's a DJ, like, that man is a DJ, you know? He goes home. If he's not on the radio, he's at home mixing. I believe he was on Twitch for, like, a whole year throughout the pandemic, like every single night, didn't miss a show type of thing. So working with him, man, it just showed me like this man he's for real. He's the real deal. And the fact that he's been able to run, you know, one of the biggest hip hop clubs in Vegas as a resident DJ, and shout out to Amadeus too, who's his drummer, who's a resident drummer there. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, I can't say anything nicer about the guy. He was always open to me and just might come to my house after we got off the air. And you know, he used to have me running his board during his 5 o'clock, the Franzen mix at 5, you know, the Fantastic Ride at 5. And
yeah. So
much love to Franzen, man. He's a great guy.
Yeah. I think, and the crazy thing is he's been in every major hip hop club. You know what I'm saying? He's been in every major hip hop club out here in Vegas. Back when, what was it called? RPM.
OPM.
Yeah, OPM. There you go. He was in OPM when OPM was turned into Poetry. He was there at Poetry.
Yep, Poetry Nightclub. Yep.
Yeah. Turned into Poetry. Like we got another show getting ready to get started. So, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
One of the guests is out there. But
and that's what happens when you're the boss, man, and you running things, man. Shout out to you, man, for just doing what you're doing and keeping this alive, man, because there's not a lot of people that would take that kind of energy, man, and you're doing it. So I want to just salute to you one time. When I come out to Vegas, you and I are going to get together, bro, for sure.
Absolutely, man. You got to come over here to the studio, and then we got to go get some drinks. For real.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, man. A lot of people say that like the FM, AM stations are going to be gone in the next 5 years. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like everything's going to be strictly internet, or is that something that
you know, I'm kind of split between that, because radio is free. You know, when you have a radio is supposed to be for the public, and
yeah,
you know, back in the day, it was a form of communicating to the public on public airwaves. That's why like the FCC is in charge of it. But the FCC, who's run by the government, is kind of they're old, man. They're not hip to all this. They don't know. So a lot of the rules that applied from back in the day to local radio have kind of been skewed and changed, and they're just not relevant in today's current technology time. So do I feel like the radio is going to go anywhere? No, but at the same time, I feel like some of these platforms like Twitch or some of these social media platforms are going to expand their brand by saving radio and by, in a sense, kind of creating another lane. So if you're in the car, yes, you could still stream, but yeah, you could still listen to the local station and hear that local person who's on your Twitch or who's on your Instagram or whatever broadcast through those airways. And eventually it is going to change. Eventually public airwaves will change, and you will see some kind of a bridge between technology and the FM dial.
Yeah. I feel like everything is going phone. Like if it's like you got this device that you pretty much take everywhere with you. I feel like, you already can Bluetooth, you know what I'm saying? And listen to music from your phone. You know what I'm saying? So you got all of the streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music and stuff that's practically running, while you're doing your thing in the car. You know what I'm saying? And then, a lot of people are on these live streams listening to, people talk. And the podcast thing is huge right now. Like, I didn't realize how big podcasting was. You know what I'm saying? In my understanding of podcasts, when I first started BU Network, my understanding of podcast was different. You know what I'm saying? I thought podcast was just, internet radio. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. But when I gained the understanding, it's like, look, music don't really have anything to do with podcasting. Podcasting is conversation. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta have no songs or no in between. This a full-fledged, you know what I'm saying, talk. And there's a totally different market that radio never had. You know what I'm saying? You would have thought like there would have been shows on air that was like a podcast. I felt like radio like missed the whole wave.
Yeah, and that's you're right. And podcasting has become now, it's literally just the audio version of the CD or of the tape back in the day or of the video cassette back in the day. It's captured audio, and it's broadcasted whenever the person who wants to listen to that it's on their schedule, on their time. So yeah, man, you're 100% right. And I feel like podcasting is such a it's a tool, it's a tool for people to have these shows. So now if you have a radio show, you can go listen to the podcast. Speaking of, you can listen to my podcast, MikeLiveLA.com. I have a bunch of podcasts on there. But yeah, man, I totally. Podcasting has now become the new form of just capturing audio for people to listen to.
Absolutely, man. So, podcasting versus radio, which one would you say would be kind of your best niche?
Podcasting, because it's in my control and it's my content. So yeah, 100% podcasting for sure. Radio, first of all, the radio business is not paying the way they used to pay. You got radio hosts making $25,000 a year and doing all their side gigs just to make something happen, So yeah, I think podcasting is one of the pivotal things that a lot of these on-air hosts need to do nowadays. It's just become the norm.
No, I completely understand that. So right before we kind of got on air, we talked about going through the pandemic. Now, you was popping right before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And tell us how that affected you and some of the things that you had to go through during that process.
Well, like a lot of people, I was furloughed, terminated at a syndicated radio network that I worked at. And I kind of was like, well, I have my show at Dash Radio that I was doing. And I turned my show into Dash, the Dash Radio show, into something that I felt was a business model that could generate money for myself as a host. And so that's what I did, man. And it actually, believe it or not, I came out to Vegas and I did a 2-night event, private event at the M Resort, and invited like 12 artists and pre-booked them all the artists paid. I brought film crews out, I brought assistants, I had bartender. I mean, we had the whole thing. It was really nice, and it was all during the pandemic. People trying to mask up. We masked up, and then everyone took them off. You know what I mean? Because it's like we wasn't tripping about that. It was all it was paid for, right? So the thing that got me during the pandemic was a lot of these artists, realize like you can take it into your own hands now. You don't need these big corporations. If you got somebody who's willing to shoot content for you and package you and get you going like that, that's where the money, that's where I feel like, you, especially like your network, like that's what you could do to really help these artists and give them something. So they're like, yo, I could use this clip, or I could use this interview for the next 5 months if I wanted to, towards my new single or my new whatever I'm putting out, Yeah. So that's what I did during the pandemic, man. I just kind of turned my show into profit.
Wow. So I know you said it was cool for us to talk about that, but in the process, Dash Radio had some issues with what you were doing. Let's go.
Yes, absolutely.
So
yeah, man, they did, because they felt like I was using their platform to charge artists, and that was not the case. It was more so I was shooting the content, and I had to come up with a way to make sure that I couldn't just be the video guy and the host. So I had to pay people out of my own pocket to shoot the content, And so I'm not going to cough up all this money when, you know what I mean? Like, these artists want to get their stuff out there, and not just on Dash, but in general, like on the internet, on YouTube, on whatever, you know what I mean? So I had to start charging, because that was the way. I mean, that was literally the only way that I could sustain what I was doing, and Dash had a problem with it. And it's too bad they had a problem with it, because, I feel like I could have brought some valuable business plan to them that they could actually make money off of what they're doing. And, not to say anything bad about them, but I asked them for a job several times, and I never got paid to do my show at Dash Radio. It was all out of my pocket. It was all me,
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what? It kind of works like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, God works in mysterious ways. And sometimes, you can come up with a very creative idea, but it's your idea. And until people see it come to pass, people they're not going to understand it, because they can't see through your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And so when you start being successful, then they want to kick themselves like, dang, we should have, let him do what he's doing, because now he's, got those eyeballs. Now he got those looks and those, listeners, and then people following his content. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the good thing about it, man, with social media now, you don't really need nobody's platform.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But you need the resources. And that's the thing, like with what you're doing with that network that you're on right now, like people need you. You know what I mean? So like, me just telling you as somebody who's been in this business, like, they need a home, like my show, I can't do it out. I could do it out in my living room, if I wanted to, but the reality is, like, you need a spot, and you're not bringing people to the crib. You're bringing them to a business. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know the rules. So at the end of the day, it's like, you do need a home. And I think that's what people really need, is like resources. I feel like, especially in the music industry, like people need producers, people need engineers, people need videographers, they need writers, so there's a whole thing that comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, one of the things that I've learned just being here, because I started BU Network in my dining room. My first show was just like that, with on my my dining room table. You know what I'm saying? With my iMac and a camera and some lights and a couple of microphones, and the interface. And I was live streaming right there. But like you said, you know, it limited the type of guests I could have, because you know, you don't want everybody to know where you live. You don't want everybody to know how you're living. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my kids was in the other room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling my kids, hey, daddy getting ready to have an interview. I'm gonna need y'all to be real quiet. So be quiet for daddy right quick. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm running in the dining room trying to make sure that my guests is straight, and you know what I'm saying? And they like, well, this
You get it, bro.
Yeah. So when it was time, I was like, look, if I'm going to really be able to get some like major guests into this thing, I'm gonna definitely need a venue that I can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So I started putting my money away. At the time, I had a business partner that also believed, and we came up with some concepts together. And then, you know, the rest is history. You know, I stayed here for like a month and a half, you know what I'm saying, trying to put this thing together and making phone calls to people to give me advice on how to do certain things. And I made my own panels, and I, you know what I'm saying, bought all the equipment, and it came to life. You know what I'm saying? Many sleepless nights, many nights in here by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Putting it all together.
Exactly, man. So you got some things getting ready to start popping again. Here you getting ready to get into some more events. Let's talk about some of that.
Yeah, so basically, man, you know, with the whole pandemic, it kind of, like I told you about the event I did at the end, now it's going to be more so not just doing it in Vegas, but I'm going to be going to like different places. And this was something that I made this decision when I did that in Vegas was I'm going to go to the Bay. I'm going to go to, you know, obviously my home, LA, my backyard. So we're going to have certain events that in the next, like I'd say the next couple months, I'm going to start formulating the plan to get it going, because you know, this whole pandemic, it was a big shake for a lot of people, you know. So now, you see with the war shit going on, and with the whole Ukraine, the economy, the re-election of the president, it's kind of a shaky time. You know, a lot of people are kind of like, do we invest now? Do we not? A lot of artists that had the money don't have it anymore. So there's kind of, you know, I don't want to just pop back in right now. I'm going to wait a couple months and we'll see where things go. And then at that point, I will be doing a lot of events, kind of private though. It's going to be more private events, and it's about more focused on shooting content and giving these artists the opportunity to actually have that content and say, all right, Mike, what are you offering? And I'll have the whole promotional package, and I'll have all that ready to go for them, like I did when I came out there. And, you know, that's what I want to bring. I want to connect a lot of these artists to people in the industry. And that's what I was able to do when I went to Vegas. You know, I have Mike P, who's a morning show host at Hot 97.5. He came by. He got a chance to talk to artists, give him his opinions. You know, I had DJs come to the event. So it's more so that these artists that come to these events, they get those contacts. You know, they'll meet the people that I know, that I've known for all these years, and they can take that contact and do whatever they want. You know, some of these artists, you know, after I did that event, I've seen them hook up with them. Later on, they started their own podcast. They started their own things. They wanted to do kind of similar to what I was doing and that was great, because it was motivation for me to see that, hey, it worked. Like my plan to get these people together worked. And so, so you'll be seeing a lot of events and stuff like that I'm going to do, but more so private events and more direct to artists that really want to get their content out there.
No doubt. You still got like connections like with Franzen and some of the other people out here?
Oh man, that never stops. You already know, man. It's, you know, there's a lot of people that are in his circle. I don't call Franzen. I don't even have his number, but I talk to his brothers. I talk to his family. There's people that I personally work with in radio that are still very, very close to him. So yeah, man, it's, you know, but it's a lot of these guys, you got to respect the success that they've had. And when it's your time to speak to them about something, then that's when you talk to them about it. And that's how I kind of learned in this business. I never ask anybody for anything, you know, but when it's time and it's a meaningful thing and it's something that we can put together, then that's when, you know, the phone calls come out, and it comes from 3 different people, not just me. You know, other people reach out to these people, so that way they know, oh, Mike's serious, he wants to do this. Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
You know, so Yeah, man.
No doubt, man. So we got another show getting ready to come up after this, and so I got to run back here and start getting ready to set up. But man, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, you know what I'm saying, and spending some time with us, you know, educating us a little bit about the game and talking about some of the ups and downs, man, because you know, a lot of people don't like to give back like that. You know what I'm saying? once you pass, you pass a certain level, you know what I'm saying, and then it's like, all right, you know, that may not be a big enough platform for me. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, well, let me tell you, man, all platforms start off in the living room, like you said, bro.
Exactly.
I salute you for even just continuing to do what you do, and I know you're gonna do major things. And if there's anything that I could do on my end to bring more to what you got going on, then I will be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. So what I'm gonna do, man, I'm gonna reach out to my manager Misty, and I'm gonna get your number so we can stay in contact, bro. And I think we're gonna be out there in LA. If not the end of this month, next month. I forgot the radio station that I'm supposed to be doing the interview at, but we'll be out that way, man. So, you know, whether you come out here to Vegas first or we get out there first, man, we definitely gotta tap in with each other, bro, and continue to.
Absolutely,
you got
man.
the little one
guy right here.
You see what I'm saying? What's
All
up,
right,
little man?
All right, man. Much love, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro.
So we're going to get into this last song, and we're going to get about this thing, man. And y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in. We got Malik Truth, you know, Malik's Truth coming in right after this show. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stay tapped in. Continue to support BU Network. And thank you again for watching That's My Producer. Thanks to Mike Live once again. Thanks to my manager Misty for setting this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my manager Brenda Brown as well. And we getting ready to get up off this thing. Here's that. Forgiven, finally free. We gonna end with that. All right. Y'all be blessed and be careful out here. We out.
How does it feel? Go ahead and just keep it real. Yeah. Cause you finally free, yeah. How does it feel? Yeah. No more bondage. Yeah. No more bondage. Yeah. You finally free, yeah.
Lord, I wanna say thank you for all the things that you brought me through. This year was the hardest. The devil tried to put me back where I started, but you can get me like that just so easy. My God, he's got my back, keeps on fighting. He'll never leave me like that, never blinded. He's always fighting for me, no more bondage.
Cast out sickness, strongholds, disease, all the things not of him and my God. We must believe I'm finally free.
How does it feel? Go ahead and just keep it real. Yeah. Cause you finally free, yeah. How does it feel? Yeah. No more bondage. Yeah. No more bondage. Yeah. You finally free, yeah.
Don't let them tell you there's nothing you can't do. Cause prayer is the strength that causes a breakthrough. God is in control, just let him guide you. He's proud of your light, he will never hide you. Now pick your head up and walk in your victory. Put the burdens down and walk in your victory. We gon' let him know that we are not ashamed. We want the whole world to see. I'm free from the heartbreaks and pain of this world that's been dragging me down. I'm free from my insecurity, that's why I have so much joy when I smile. I'ma yell it from the rooftop. I'ma yell it from the gutter.
He showed it on the cross, he gave his life
Because the Bible says, who the Son sets free is truly free indeed. No more shackles. You said no more chains. For we are free to worship you. And we thank you because we're finally.
How does it feel? Go ahead and just keep it real. Yeah. Cause you finally